Yes, I do believe that Joe Lacob just leaked the Warriors trade deadline plans. But before the trade deadline comes around, the Warriors might be making a key roster move. An NBA insider had a big report earlier this week, so we're going to dive into that. And then Joe Lacob responding to a fan's email about the direction of the Golden State Warriors. All that and more in just a moment. But if you want the Warriors to make a move ASAP, as soon as possible, show me, Dub Nation, because the frustration, it's starting to build. Go down below, hit the like button, hit that thumbs up icon if you want the Warriors, Mike Dunleavy, Joe Lacob, all the people making decisions up top to go out there and make a move to better this roster. This could better the roster. I mean, he's already on the team now, but Pat Spencer could be officially a Golden State Warrior as he was at the end of last season. As you guys know, Pat Spencer is on a two-way contract at this point, and NBA insider Marc Stein said that it's just a matter of time before the Warriors actually sign Pat Spencer to a standard deal for the rest of this season and potentially beyond. Stein saying the following. Much like Ryan Nembhard in Dallas, Golden State's Pat Spencer is seen as a virtual lock to have his two-way contract converted to a standard NBA contract before season's end. Like Nembhard and all the other players on two-way deals, Spencer can only play in 50 regular season games for the Warriors while on the two-way. As reader Nick Thoreson notes, correcting my initial version, Spencer has been active for every game this season, including the 8 that he hasn't played in. Spencer has played or been active for 27 games and thus has 23 remaining, which would get him through the end of January if he continued to be active for every game. That's a big note there. Golden State has 25 games remaining until the February 5th deadline, when its roster picture for converting the 29-year-old would obviously be much clearer. Okay, so all that really matters, though, with this Pat Spencer two-way contract is that it goes past January 15th, the day that Jonathan Kuminga is eligible to be traded. Am I saying that Jonathan Kuminga is going to be traded on January 15th? No, but I'm assuming that it's going to be in the days that follow with him, stacking up DNPs at this point. They might not want to play him until that is all ready to go. But Pat Spencer, regardless, absolutely deserves a spot on this Warriors roster, man. Just given what he's done this season, even dating back to the playoffs. I mean, I thought he should have got a standard deal for just headbutting the shit out of Alperen Sengun in that Rockets series. That took a lot of balls. Speaking of which, though, I mean, he's playing like the most confident guy in the world, especially when he gets big-time opportunity. I mean, if you see his stats as a starter, 15 points a game, and it's only 3 games, but still, it was crazy numbers Pat Spencer was putting up for about a week there. 15 points per game as a starter, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 50% from 3 and 50% from the field. And look, he's got respectable numbers even when he's not in the Warriors starting lineup as well. A 41% three-point shot this season. That was something that Steve Kerr pointed to where, he's got a lot more faith put in his Pat Spencer now, just how reliable his jump shot has been. Steph Curry had a comment on it as well. He said it's amazing to watch. He noted Spencer's just drive and want to get better. And he's seen each step of the way for him kind of progressing as a basketball player. He's called him a gym rat. He's always working. And now it's finally paying off here for Pat Spencer. His head coach knows the same thing. Here's what Steve Kerr said about Spence. He said that energy and the competitive spirit are a huge part of winning basketball. And that's what Pat Spencer has brought to us. There's a different vibe on the floor and in the locker room with Pat doing what he's doing. He's changed our team. Pat Spencer makes the Warriors watchable. Pat Spencer makes the Warriors fun. And I can't say the same about everybody else on this Warriors roster. Pat Spencer's noted this about himself, too. He's talked about back in October. He was like, the NBA teams, the ones that stay at the lottery, they don't end up picking the guys who want to contribute to winning, the guys who want to be in their role. They're too focused on the flashiness, too focused on the highlights, too focused on really the AAU-ification of the NBA, and that's why teams in the lottery stay in the lottery. That's why a team like the Warriors takes a guy like Pat Spencer, and now he's playing like one of the better guards in the NBA. And when you contrast that with a player like Brandon Podziemski, I don't really see what this coaching staff is seeing out there on the basketball court, because it's not like Pat Spencer's getting more minutes than the guy with the stats you see on screen right now. And it is just really frustrating when you see Pat Spencer year to year get so much better than he was. Meanwhile, Brandon Podziemski is putting up the same numbers that he was in his rookie year. And look, I'm not going to knock him completely. He has taken a bit of a leap in the three-point department this season. He's shooting a respectable, 40.6% from outside. But, I mean, the volume's just got to be better. And, I keep pointing to Joe Lacob not wanting to include him in a Lauri Markkanen trade or calling him a future all-star at the Summer League back in 2024. But it all rings true. It makes no sense to me why Brandon Podziemski has the leash that he does, why he has the green light that he does, when Pat Spencer has been doing more with less opportunity. So shout out to Pat. I think he's going to get this Standard deal very, very soon. But when he does, he could end up getting buried in that Warriors rotation, not see as many minutes as I think, or maybe you think he deserves. Who should play more between Brandon Podziemski and Pat Spencer? If it's Pat Spencer, type his jersey number, 61. Crazy aura. I don't know how 61 looks good, but Pat Spencer makes it look good. So drop a 61 if you think he should get more minutes than Pods. But if you think that I'm reaching too far above what we think Pat Spencer is capable of, drop a 2 for Brandon Podziemski down in the comments section. All right, coming up next, yes, Joe Lacob, I believe, leaked the Warriors trade deadline plans because he responded to a fan's email. He's starting to feel the heat. So Joe Lacob said what? We'll tell you in just a moment. First, though, we're going to take a word from our new sponsor. Got something really awesome to show Dub Nation here as a new sponsor is joining Warriors today. Shout out to Rocket Money. Ever feel like your money just disappears each month? It's easier than ever to overspend. From subscriptions piling up, to impulse buys after seeing an ad on your phone, to ordering takeout a few times a month. Rocket Money helps you rein it in by showing you where your money is going and helping you make better decisions so you can keep more money in your pocket. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money shows you all your expenses in one place, including subscriptions you forgot about. If you see a subscription you no longer want, Rocket Money will help you cancel it in just a few taps. If you've got a goal you'd like to save for, Rocket Money can analyze your accounts to find the best time each month to put extra money aside. Rocket Money has saved users over $2.5 billion, with including over $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Their 10 million members save up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/warriorschat today. That's rocketmoney.com/warriorschat. rocketmoney.com/warriorschat. So a Warriors fan emailed Joe Lacob because, of course, why wouldn't a Warriors fan email Joe Lacob? People are frustrated about the state of this team at 13-14. And Joe Lacob answered the email. Here's what he had to say. It was a 27-year-old Warriors fan from Panama. Shout out to Justin for making this happen. He says, "Dear Joe, please do something about this team. What Steph needs to do every night to win? Drop 50 points? Pretty much, yeah, right? Team is in need of a real second option. Jimmy's tools are being underutilized because he's playing a power forward spot due to the small position players, and we have no true center. I'm so frustrated. Thanks, Justin." I think Justin speaks for many, many Warriors fans, including myself. This team is frustrating. They have not added a legitimate center, not named Al Horford, who is 40. I know, I'm a culprit. I'm a culprit of the Al Horford stuff. Not as reliable as I thought he would be this season. But, again, the Warriors have not added a legitimate center, I don't know, in the past 5 years. Like, they haven't tried since James Wiseman, and that was a colossal disaster. Shout out Joe Lacob for that one as well. But let's just get to Joe Lacob's response to the email here, because I could talk about his mismanagement of this team for all day. You don't want to get me started on that. Lacob said, though, "You can't be as frustrated as me. I am working on it. It's complicated. Style of play, coach's desires regarding players, league trends. Jimmy is not the problem." Okay, so a couple things to unpack here, because I've been somebody who puts Joe Lacob at number 1 on the list of blame. And I'm not taking him away from that spot, but let's just kind of unpack what his response was here. Item number 1, Joe Lacob suggests, I guess his words suggest, that he's willing to take the big swing. He says, "You can't be as frustrated as me. I am working on it." That tells me that, contrary to the past, where Joe Lacob does not want to give away a ton of draft capital that belongs to the Warriors, I think he would be willing to make that decision now and send away draft picks attached to Jonathan Kuminga and whatever else the Warriors want to include to get something of value back for this roster. So I believe Joe Lacob with those words. We'll see if it turns to actual action towards the trade deadline. However, he says, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Me. That's Joe Lacob, man. That's Joe Lacob to AT. It really undermines the guy who should be making these decisions in Mike Dunleavy. And this is just further proof to me that Joe Lacob and Steve Kerr have Mike Dunleavy by the balls, man. Like they have him in a corner. They do not let him make any decisions. Mike Dunleavy had to go out on his own and trade for Jimmy Butler last year. It's really unfortunate that a guy who I believe is a smart basketball mind and a really good talent evaluator, and we see a good deal maker as well with the Butler trade, not being utilized or not being allowed to be utilized by the people that employ him. So I'm pretty frustrated about that. Item number 2. I agree with Lacob that Jimmy Butler is not the problem, but he does need to do more. He just has to be utilized more. He hasn't had a 20-point game in December yet, and he has dealt with injury. And I mean, that's going to happen when you're a guy who's 35 years old and with as much miles as there has been on Jimmy Butler's career here. But at the end of the day, you make $55 million. You got to go out there and score more. You got to go out there and make more. You just got to go out there and be a bigger engine for this offense. Steve Kerr knows that, and he kind of says it's his fault. Kerr says, I've got to find a way to get him more into the groove of the game. I don't really consider Jimmy's game to be dependent on how many shots he gets, but we do need his scoring. We do need his playmaking. I thought we did a better job last year of putting him in position to attack and create shots for people. We need to get back to that type of control of the game, going to him in the half court, especially when Steph is out, taking care of the ball, turning the other team over, controlling the game. This team needs to be run through Jimmy Butler. Why was this not the case at the beginning of the season? And I know he's been out of the lineup, all that stuff, but whether Steph's on the floor or not, this offense must be run through Jimmy Butler. He is a threat to score. He is a threat to play make. He makes the right decision with the ball, doesn't turn it over, confident with it in his hands, always knows what decisions he's going to make. Why is the ball in Brandon Podziemski's hand for 15 seconds of the shot clock? And that needs to be Jimmy Butler. There needs to be more initiation into this offense with Jimmy Butler. There needs to be more Jimmy Butler running these sets. You're paying him $55 million a year. Utilize him. Item number 3. What does this mean? Coaches' desires regarding players. It seems like a bit of a shot at the guy who's running things in that head coach spot, and that's Steve Kerr. And who's the player that we're regarding here? It's obviously Jonathan Kuminga. Obviously. Will this guy ever play again? I mean, last 3 games have been a straight DNP from Steve Kerr. I'm starting to believe that there's a chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Who knows? Next Warriors game, he could be right back out there on the floor. But I'm starting to believe that Jonathan Kuminga may have played his last game as a Golden State Warrior. I mean, think about it. What is an NBA team that would trade for Jonathan Kuminga going to learn about him in the next month and a half that they don't already know? Is he magically going to develop a 40% three-point shot? No, I don't think so. So for a guy who got hurt on January 4th last year and was out 2 months with an ankle sprain, why would you re-aggravate, or why would you risk the re-aggravation? Or why would you risk another injury for Jonathan Kuminga here and then completely take him off the board for trade deadline season? I think they might be keeping him on ice. Is that the right decision? I let you guys decide that for me in the comments section. Has Jonathan Kuminga played his last game as a Warrior? That's our last question on today's show. Type Y for yes, type N for no. It's very, very simple. Are they going to keep him on ice till they trade him? Let me know down in the comment section. That will do it for today's show. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV, for the latest and greatest on your Dubs all season long. I promise stuff's going on behind the scenes with me right now, so we're going to be live on the channel very, very soon. Just be patient with me. We'll see you guys all then. And as always, let's go Dubs.